What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Get This D. I'm your boy D.Smith, man. Listen, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out your day, your night, your evening, whatever time you're listening to this to check us out, man. So I appreciate it. We chilling here at Tel LaRue Studios, as usual. And I got a special guest in the building with me, man. My guy, Mr. Elliot Porter.
What's
Director.
up, bro?
Let me rewind that, okay? Director Elliot Porter. What's going on, brother?
I don't know. How you doing, bro?
Now look at that Kool-Aid smile. Oh, look at that shit. Look at that Kool-Aid smile. That's a professional, boy. That's a professional.
Yeah, man. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. How you feel?
I'm good, man.
I'm proud of your show. I'm enjoying it. I checked it out.
Thanks,
I checked
man.
it out.
I appreciate that, man. More to come.
Yeah. No doubt.
More to come, dude. We've been talking about this for a couple years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love the name.
Thank you.
I love the name.
Yes, sir. Get this D. Yes, sir. So, like I said, I'm glad you're here. It's been a couple years in the making. We finally got you here. Man, so anything you want to plug real quick before we go ahead and jump into this?
I'll be shooting my film, Daddin' and Sonnin'. It's a comedy. It's going to be shooting in Chicago this year. And hopefully people will come out, support it. And it's going to be a good time. It's a really good script.
Daddin'
and Sonnin'.
Daddin' and Sonnin'.
Daddin' and Sonnin'.
Dad.
Yeah, Daddin' and Sonnin'.
And Sonnin'.
Yeah.
God, okay.
Damn, you're making it hard.
Because people can't, you know people, dog.
Yeah.
You know people. What are you saying? What? Daddin' and Sonnin'? No.
Yeah.
Daddin' and Sonnin'.
Yeah, I got friends with GEDs. I know how it is.
No shots.
No shots. I love y'all.
Okay, man. Well, listen, dude. We're going to go ahead and jump into the topic today, man.
Okay.
Listen. We are going to talk about unaccountability. You know, and I know y'all have had 1,000,001 conversations about unaccountability. But guess what? Here's one more for the log. Okay? We're going to talk about unaccountability, but this time I kind of want to take some different approaches when it comes to unaccountability.
Okay.
Because I feel like the way society is kind of structured and built up, it's kind of built up for people to be unaccountable. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It seems like there's always somebody else who can take the fall for something. There's always some way to wiggle out of something. There's always some way to hide your hands or throw rocks and hide your hands. Of course, we're going to talk about men. Of course, we're going to talk about women. But I want to talk about what a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to unaccountability, or what I don't think I hear enough of. You know, I also want to talk about how that may relate into parenting or raising children who are coming up in this society of unaccountability, watching adults be unaccountable in some instances, and then growing up to take the reins.
Yeah, I mean, so what aspect of accountability are we talking about?
Well, like I said,
We're gonna start with the mothers or the.
We're gonna start with the fathers.
Let's start with the fathers. That's a good place to start.
Let's do this. Let's start with men.
Okay.
Let's start with men because men are the heads. Men are the examples, or should be the examples.
Okay, run it, man. We ready.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we fucking up. We as men. Okay, so
first thing I want.
We're fucking up. We lie. We lie to our women. And I don't know if we're overcompensating or, like right now with this Facebook thing. There's a lot of women out here who are getting rich off of Instagram, Facebook, and all these things, and they're not really doing anything. They just have
beauty
or
curves.
So we complain about our women being frivolous, or our women not wanting to do traditional things, or the going away from family, whatever our hang-ups are.
Or being over-sexual, or just showing their ass.
Yeah. But we're liking it.
We love it. We're loving it.
Man, my first 5 years on Facebook, I had a whole bunch of friends I ain't know. Because they was fine. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna request her. I'm gonna request her. I'm gonna request her.
This will make a nice friend. This will make a good one.
And I think some of them are still my friends because I've never really went back and deleted them. But I was doing that being on some shallow stuff.
Yeah.
And as long as we keep our bar is low.
Unfortunately.
Our bar is low, man.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We have, like, everywhere is a strip club. I'm spending my time on Facebook, and I know a lot of you guys do this, and you're just going through girls' pictures. Just going through girls' pictures because they got a nice body or whatever.
I don't. But I have.
You have.
I have.
I don't do it anymore either. But it's just, I'm really picky about who I make my friends now.
Yeah.
But for so many years, I wasn't. I was doing both. Like when in my 20s, I messed up a lot of girls along the way. And so we inherit the problems that we created for each other.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get us to undo what we did. Because as much as we don't want to, you meet a woman, if you really care about it. Now, I ain't talking about the times when we all on in between relationships. Yeah. But if you really want to be with this girl, you got to be patient with her because we all messed them up in the 20s. So a lot of them are still trying to get their head together from that. They still holding on to hate.
And how many, like you said, you messed up a lot of people.
Yeah.
How many were you able to apologize to?
I've apologized.
Or make good with?
I've apologized to a great deal of them. I can't say all of them because some of them, I ain't really know them that long.
It is what it is.
So I didn't have no way to really get back in touch with them.
Right.
It wasn't cell phones back.
No, this is definitely.
This was pager.
Yeah.
This was pager time.
90s.
So yeah. So I went back and I apologized to some. And as much as we want to be dismissive, man, she good, say stuff like that. Man, they don't be good.
No, they hold on to a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you're dealing that hurt out to one chick, she's got friends who are probably also dealing with men who are dishing out the same kind of.
So we're reinforcing it.
And then they go back and form the covenant.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden they're just trading war stories about, their experience with men and how their hearts are being torn apart. And then now they go back out in the world to try to live.
Yeah. Yeah. And as much as we all process hurt the same way. But I feel like it manifests differently. Like, so if a guy gets his feelings hurt, he's still going to throw himself back into the ring because of the need to be with a woman. So, but for women, it's like they internalize the pain and they're holding on to it all the time. We can kind of cut it off sometimes.
We have to.
Yeah. In order for you to, because you have to appear like you're whole for a guy to get a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't go to them with confidence or looking like you got confidence, they're not gonna give you no play.
Right.
So we mask ours a little bit better than women. They hold on to hurt, man.
And if they're dealing with guys,
I hope my mama don't see this. My mother brings up stuff that she still went through when she was 14.
My mom does too.
Yeah.
My mom does too. So just to show you how and my mom holds on to things that my grandfather said to her.
Yeah.
As a young kid. And so as an example of men having to take accountability for certain things, it's not just in a relationship standpoint always between men and women.
No.
That's a thing too. We should be accountable for the women that we hurt, and not enough of us go back and try to make good on that.
Yeah.
Even if it's years later, if it's something that you did, if you see that person years later, you should still pull
But
to the side and
But then
make
that
that
go.
amends.
But that also goes back to the accountability side for the women as well. You have to understand. Okay, you've been hurt. Holding on to it and pushing it, because if you're holding on to it, you have to take accountability and try to deal with it some kind of way. Get counseling, therapy, talk to a friend, whatever you got to do to not hold on to it. It's hurt people, and that's real.
Very true.
And we can talk all that bull crap about, I get it. My feelings is hurt. I'm mad right now. But if you never deal with the mad or talk about the mad or say that you're mad, man, I got friends now who they don't apologize.
Now we're talking about men, right?
Men and women.
Okay. Let's I want to get into the women's side.
Okay.
But I really want to iron out the men's side first.
Okay.
Because when you say men that don't apologize, I think that's a huge thing.
That's a huge thing.
I think that's a very huge fucking thing, because when you talk about accountability, if you think about something that somebody's done to you, whenever somebody's transgressed against you, there's a hole that has to be.
That was a big, nice word.
Yeah, thank you. I've been working on that. I practiced.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That effort was cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that, y'all. Thank you. Clap it up. But there's this hole there that has to be filled with something.
Yeah.
It has to be, because that accountability has to be accounted for. You know what I'm saying? So if I rob you, I can't come around you like I didn't rob you. Imagine how many women have been through so much shit.
And they need closure.
Imagine how many children have been through a lot of things from maybe the dad's standpoint, maybe older brother, maybe uncle, maybe even a grandfather.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who might have done some things to them or said some things to them or just gave some negativity towards them that might have really affected them in a certain way, that person held on to it. That girl or that woman, even other men, hold on to certain things as they grow up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, I hated my grandfather my whole life because he said this to me. You know, your grandfather just...
That's that perspective, man.
You get what I'm saying?
Because if your grandfather talks that way or he feels like this is the way I talk.
It's his world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took offense to how you said something. So I guess it's kind of it's a real bad gray area, because like, if I feel like I'm right, I don't really have to apologize.
That's true.
But I apologize sometimes for things that I didn't do because I love the person. Mm-hmm. And if this is going to help them move on to the next, man, we've gotten into a selfish way of thinking, whereas we can't make this person feel good because it makes me feel like I lost power.
It makes me vulnerable to say I'm sorry to you. It makes me vulnerable to say, you know what? I thought about what I did to you, and I see how you would feel. So
and you can apologize. And you can apologize for how they felt off of what you said.
Yep.
You ain't necessarily wrong.
Right. You ain't got to apologize as if you did something wrong.
Say, man, I'm sorry that you feel that way about my perspective, man.
I didn't mean it that way.
But I didn't mean it that way, and I didn't want to offend you. Mm-hmm. And that's, boom, you out of there.
Right.
And we need, that's what we lost. Kindness.
Kindness, yep.
We're not kind to each other.
I think that's key too. That's key too. Because I think, like, when I listen to women, their idea of men, and then you hear some men even talk, their idea of being a man is just straight aggression. That's just us.
Yeah.
We don't know anything
all
about
the
aggression.
time. All the time.
And just like, you know, saying, you hear women say, well, we're women, you know, we're girls, you know, we don't, you know, you guys are men, you guys can do that, but we're women. And it's like
they feel like they can say anything to us and do anything to us.
My point is that people can kind of be accountable when they want to be, and then be unaccountable when they don't want to be.
Of course.
And so for a guy to say, oh, that's just how I talk.
Yeah.
Granted, there's a certain grain of truth to that, but there's also a bunch of bullshit and unaccountability around that too, because it means that you're robotic. It means you're on autopilot. I'm just aggressive because I'm a man and I just do man shit. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, yeah, I'm aggressive sometimes, but I also understand to play to the room or play to the moment or play to the event.
I'm aggressive.
I'm not aggressive at work,
Right.
but when I'm around my friends, I'm aggressive because that's a different environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't. You have to acknowledge the fact that you understand when to be aggressive versus when not to be, and when you do it in the wrong places, you need to be accountable for it. If you say something out of pocket or you say something out of emotion that probably shouldn't have been said, you should eventually come to the point where it's like, you know what, damn, I got to eat a little crow.
You people know when y'all say stuff that's wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's true.
Because what's funny is that I've noticed when a person says something that they knew they said it was out of pocket, instead of retracting and saying my bad or whatever, or I'm sorry, I didn't need me to say that, they get worse. They get more aggressive. And I'm like, dude, so you gonna take it up a notch?
Yeah. Because I have to stick with it. It's like when somebody lies.
Yeah.
When somebody lies and they just keep
I gotta
lying,
back this lie out.
I have to stick with it.
Man.
Because it's a waiting game.
My son used to do that, man. I'd be like, man, you caught, man.
Yeah.
And I would be like, man, you caught. I'm gonna walk out the room. You think about it. You caught. And I'm gonna come back.
I got you on camera. This you, right? This is you. Okay. Whenever you're ready to talk, just let me know.
Oh man, that boy would sit there and I'm like, dude, you.
Yeah. There's something with being vulnerable that I think is very, very animalistic, and that's why people kind of cling to certain things in order to remain unaccountable in certain situations.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like I can't be found. Like I got to stick to my guns. I got to stand my ground.
We gotta be more loving to our women, man. We really do.
I agree.
It's hard because they make it hard. I don't.
But what is love? A lot of people don't grow up. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of people. Everybody grows up with a different understanding of what love is and a different capacity to love and to accept love and to recognize love.
I agree with that because I feel like the core of what love is a deep emotional connection to another person. Mm-hmm. Now, where it kind of gets muddy is that how it makes the other person feel. Because when you're in love with a person, you want to see them.
Right.
You want to talk to them.
Right.
And as soon as they withhold that from you, you start getting angry.
It's starved because it's kind of starvation. Kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're having problems handling a lot of those emotions up in there.
We got to be accountable for that, though.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of mental illness in our community. There's a lot of physical trauma. Mental trauma.
Man.
In our community. There's a lot of dirty secrets in our families. So when we talk about accountability, like I'm trying to dig deep, because again, there's a lot of shit that went on as kids, even before our time. That just is not talked about.
Right.
And we don't say nothing about that because that's your grandfather. Or don't say nothing about that because that's your daddy. Or don't say nothing about that because that's your brother, or whatever the case is. And sometimes a lot of the bullshit gets upheld because of the lack of silence, or not lack of silence, but because of the presence of silence from other men, holding other men accountable. Man,
I went out on a date with a girl. This was a long time ago, probably in the early 2000s. And we went out and we were at a concert. Mm-hmm. I reached over to say something to her and she jumped. And she was like tense the whole time after that. Mm-hmm. And I went to ask her, at the end of the night, I'm in front of her crib and I'm like, yo, did I make you feel uncomfortable? Did I do something? And she's asked me, do I question if any of the women that when I meet them, do I inquire about them ever being sexually assaulted? Mm. I said, that has never really been in my line of questioning. Mm-hmm. And she went to explain to me that, that kind of scared her and you can't, being handsy, blah, blah, blah. So I apologized to her for touching her, on a leg or whatever I did. But I started asking women that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest, man. About 90% of the women that I went out from that point on, and they're out here dating. So we have some trauma, man, and some of it was done by parents, but a lot of it was done by guys that they trusted. You know, sometimes it was you know, when they were really small. But bottom line is that a lot of these girls are fractured, and we gotta stop. You know, some of them you may not be able to reach.
True.
But the ones you can, man, you know, love on them. And women, y'all gotta let us love on y'all.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I can imagine how hard it would be for a woman to want to open herself up to letting another dude try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
After you being raised and who knows what you saw growing up as a child.
Yeah.
Let alone what you saw growing up as a teenager, let alone what you've been through as an adult.
Yeah.
So that trust factor is really, really crazy. So
when I hit my 30s, I changed my pickup line. I would go up to girls and say, yo. And it wasn't really a pickup line. I was just being honest. I was like, I look at my watch and see what time it is. I'm like, okay, so I know it's about 5 o'clock, so probably 3 guys have tried to talk to you today. I'm probably the last one.
You better catch it while it's hot, baby.
I'm like, cause you know, I know that you done had, so I don't, you know, if I'm bothering you, I'll leave.
Right.
And some of the time they be like, yeah, most of them be like, yeah, I'm cool. I maybe had one say, okay, we can talk. But I just felt, I felt kind of like, I know y'all get tired of this, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You got a nice booty. I want to talk to you.
Hey, cut out the bullshit. Get to the point. Like, look, I'm here because I'm trying to holler at you.
Yeah.
I know I'm like number 3, 4, 5.
Okay,
whatever,
today, but I'm like, man, I'm sorry, and I apologize if this make you feel uncomfortable. So, you know, it works sometimes. That's a 90% ratio.
Yeah, dude, but that's a key thing, dude, because, again, how many men have actually gone and apologized to somebody that they hurt, to some woman in particular that they hurt? So you said they out here dating.
Yeah.
You know, some of these women have been molested, some of these women have been married and abused.
And little simple shit like just calling them bitch from time. Like if they done went through their day and been called bitch twice, you know what I'm saying? Who gonna go home and have a nice attitude and like your man in the crib like, man, you don't never smile, man, baby. Well, you know what I'm saying? Why you trip? Why don't you give me some of that? You know, blah, blah, whatever. I'm like, man, damn, that's a rough day.
Yeah, and think about it. They've been listening to a soundtrack that's been calling them bitches the whole day too.
Oh, okay.
So they can, I mean, damn. I get it.
And everybody trying to hit it every day.
I get it. Every day. Every day.
Every day. Somebody trying to hit this every day. Can you imagine that pressure?
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
I don't think men think about that. Fellas, I really do need to take some time and think about that now. Come on, have a heart.
That's a rough life. I ain't gonna trip. I've seen girls that I found attractive, and I'd be like, I know she tired. I'm gonna leave her alone.
Yeah, it's gotta be rough.
So if you ever looked at me and said, hey, why he ain't say nothing to me? I was leaving you alone. I was giving you the day.
Crazy as hell. But yeah, that's definitely a great point, man, and a great way to segue into the woman's side of the situation. Now, again, this ain't to bash men, this ain't to bash women. This is really just to try to snowball this into an area, okay? So if you have men who are unaccountable for certain things, especially for the input that they give women when they behave certain ways, or dress certain ways, or do certain things.
I didn't turn my phone off.
And it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be accountable for that. So we have to be accountable for the way we give our attention out, where our energy goes, where our money goes.
Yeah.
You know, where we spend our money on. So you can't, when men are out here, like I'm single. I'm trying to date, but I really don't want to because I don't have a taste for it.
The conversations are really.
Yeah, I don't have.
They're really. I'm gonna just say it. The conversation is really shallow, ladies, and y'all need to learn some jokes. Man, just like two. Just two a night. I ain't looking for Eddie Murphy Sesame. Just like, God,
well, like knock jokes or some shit. Like,
it's not funny, man. Not funny, man. They don't have no conversations.
Like a black guy, a white guy, Chinese guy.
Yeah, something, man. Just give me
your mama jokes. Like,
they just, yeah. But anyway, yeah, conversation makes you not want to date. Like, you get two bad conversations back to back, then you gonna just play Xbox.
So let's snowball this into the women's side for a quick second.
Okay.
I think that women also have to be accountable for the energy that they put out as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that some of them may be hurt, some of them may be cautious, so that's why they give the one-word answers. But I also believe that they have to, just like they want us to do, give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of women have to deal with their experiences, but not project their experiences on the next person. But I'm just using that as an example of maybe people not being accountable, or women in particular not being accountable for the energy that they put out. You know, like if a guy's trying to talk to you, and rather than you just saying, "Oh, I'm good," you snap off with an attitude. You're not being, and then you complaining about not finding guys that want to approach you.
Yeah. You
kind of got to be accountable for the energy you're putting out.
I couldn't make this up. So I got, I used to catch the Metro.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this girl who would get on the Metro all the time, and she was nice looking. I tried to speak to her maybe 3 times. Mm-hmm. She was nasty to me. I got on Black People Meet. Guess who inboxing me? You could just be kind outside.
When I saw you.
Right. And we just, I don't know what it is. You'd rather meet me in this space, or and you can't be you out in, it was the weirdest thing, and I didn't have really didn't have no interest after that.
Huh. Which brings me to my next point of accountability. Because, and this goes for everybody, but since we're talking about women, when you're behind the screen, it gives you a different perspective and a different swag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When
you're behind the screen, it's safer.
Yeah.
So you approaching her in person, I don't know. I don't know if did she recognize you? Do you guys have any conversation? Did she recognize that, hey, you're the dude from the train, talked to me a couple times? Or?
No, she didn't have that in the note.
Okay, so again, the online presence gives you a different perspective.
Yeah,
you could be a different person behind the screen.
I guess.
You can.
I mean, I know it happens. I know it happens, but I guess it depends on what you consider real. Because for me, I don't really view it as real, but for a lot of people, it is real. Like, it's like all day, every day, it's about their likes. It's about who said this, and like you hear a lot of Facebook arguments. You know, and I can't lie. I've gotten off Facebook like, these motherfuckers.
Motherfucker. Send.
Oh, man. I done had people on me on 10. Like, I've been in the comments calling people out their name. I've done it. So,
don't let them get you, brother.
Man.
Don't let them get you.
That stuff. But after a while, you kind of, it's like when you go into that cousin's house where everything go down all the time. And the older you get, when you're younger, it's fun because it's like it's always going down. But as you get older, you kind of like, man, they do too much. They be doing too much. I don't want to go over that.
Right.
So you get tight, man. You just want peace, and you want a little bit more calm.
When it comes to accountability, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The over-aggressive speech, trying to be, argumentative all the time, gaslighting.
But this goes back to what our conversation was originally about. Remember, we was describing those women out here who have been damaged or going through some stuff that they've never acknowledged. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And unfortunately, you know, we've gotten, and I can't say unfortunately, because if you need some kind of positive love or whatever you want to call it,
interaction,
yeah,
engagement,
whatever. It's just I want if they need that, go get it. You know, but it is a little bit sad that we ain't loving on the person next to us enough that they got to go seek this out here. And of course, you know, yeah, we've acknowledged that girls have been messed up and, you know, they ain't dealt with it and all this other stuff. But that's what we getting on Facebook. All the stupid arguments that we have about everything from men ain't this or women ain't that, it's always stemming from there's some hurt that we ain't dealt with. So, you know.
which is unaccountability.
Yeah, they're not yeah, you got to be accountable with that. In order to fix it, you got to say, okay,
It's
this is
there.
bothering me.
Yeah.
And if you don't never say this is bothering me, you can't even fix it. Can't even fix it. I was angry for, man, you know how when you growing up, damn, I don't want to put my business out there.
Hey, give us a skinny.
Yeah, so when you find yourself in a situation where your family, when loved ones have, I lost my train of thought. Damn, she heard me about to put her business on the street. I'll call her back. Oh man, she was about to get me. Damn, that's ironic. Okay, we're not gonna talk about that.
That's your grandma?
That's my mama.
That's your mama.
Yeah,
You about to say about your
yeah.
mama.
Yeah, man. Because you know my mother did what a lot of mothers did. She was upset about what happened with her and my pops. So as you growing up, she's the mama and the daddy, and it makes things, man, that shit makes things hard. So they passing down more anger because she didn't deal, you know, because she has things that she didn't deal with. Me and her was talking today, and she was dark skinned growing up. So she got a lot of ridicule because of that. And that's undiagnosed stuff. So so all that stuff about get you a dark skinned girl growing up was because of what she dealt with. You know, so it's small, it seems small, but she shaped the way maybe I was attracted to dark skinned women, maybe I wasn't. But because of her pain, she passed that down, and that stuff is getting passed down everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Man, this baby mama stuff, man, this is at a new.
Think about the compounding pressure on single mothers and women who might have received trauma from their mothers.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, and it affects men too. But since we're talking about the woman's side, just right now, all of that seeps into the dating world.
Yes.
All of that shit seeps right into the dating world.
Man.
So when you hear all these conversations or you see people complaining about dating and men and women and all this other shit, it's like people aren't accountable enough to go back far enough to really start analyzing where their thought process comes from.
And when it changed.
When it changed, exactly.
Yeah.
What happened in the timeline to make this happen?
Yeah.
Or to make me feel this way? When did I start thinking like this?
There are women out there that believe that they deserve the type of love that they're getting. And it could be minimal. But because they don't feel they haven't dealt with something, they're letting this guy give them this half bit of love.
And then, like I say, they got friends, they got cousins, they got aunties, they got mothers, they got women around them that have been through shit too. Not to mention the shit they see on Lifetime and the news and who knows where else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In music, in movies. So it's like, dude, the images and the notions of the value of women and what they should be versus what they shouldn't be versus what they are versus what they ain't. They
all need to take out some time and feel their feelings. if you angry right now, man, don't go get no liquor and say fuck that girl, fuck that nigga, and go find you another dude, listening to your friends. Mm-hmm. Go feel your feelings.
Yeah, process that.
Man,
sit in it.
You love this dude. Mm-hmm. He didn't reciprocate. Get over that.
Learn from it. Chop it, break, dissect it, and learn from it. Literally peel it apart and pull it apart and figure out the pieces of why you are feeling how you are feeling. Then when you come out of this, you actually have a better understanding of what your triggers are, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and a better sense of who you are. So when you meet the next person, you ain't so gullible, or you ain't so, naive or head in the clouds. You kind of have a better understanding of how you operate inside.
And the feeling is never gonna go away. Like when you get your heart broke,
it hurts.
It's like when it's no different than a funeral. Mm-hmm. When a loved one passes, you have memories with this person. Mm-hmm. So. Same thing in a relationship. You got memories with this person. You shared parts of yourself with this person. So you supposed to be hurt. You always gonna feel it. Right. But you can't let that feeling make you crazy.
That's true. But you also gotta be accountable enough to
You gotta acknowledge that I'm hurt. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm not able to find a person who I love. You can't find a person that you love when you hurt.
That's true. You can attract the person that you love when I can't say that. I can't necessarily say that.
Hurt animals in the wild get ate.
They get ate. Yep, they attract predators.
They attract
predators. People have to be accountable for their past as well as their present. And it doesn't do any good for you to just sweep it under the rug and move on, carrying this shit into the next situation and then not understanding why you're getting the same results.
Man, some people have a hard time dealing with that pain.
Yeah.
It's that some people have a hard time. I don't know where it comes from, because me myself, I'm a little arrogant. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you broke up with me, you kind of played yourself, mm-hmm. because I'm dope, and that's kind of the way I feel. And I feel like if more people, you ain't mad if you feel like that person lost out.
Right.
So you gotta, if you had more awareness of yourself, you'd be like, okay, if you don't want this, somebody gonna want this. That I think that needs to be taught, because guys are doing that too. Look, mm-hmm. These young boys get mad when they get dumped. They killing women.
Dude. So,
because you broke up with me? How is that?
So, to snowball this further into what I was talking about, now we have these two people or types of people, or people who have these types of experiences having children. And so you see now
Facebook.
And you see a lot of these young kids, one thing that's kind
Instagram.
of scary to me is the lack of patience and self-awareness that a lot of these young people show in the way they deal with their emotions. The fact that these young boys cannot take a girl telling them, no, I'm good. No, I'm cool. I got a boyfriend. Or no, I don't want to give you my number. Or whatever. Now the motherfucker turns around and wants to and murders like.
We justify everything, man.
This is real shit. It's scary that there are people just walking around the world just completely unaccountable for their emotions. Just completely unaccountable.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, emotions come out. If I don't like it, you're gonna feel it. If I don't like it, you're gonna see it.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
There's no guidelines, and there's nobody there teaching certain people or teaching people how to deal with those kind of emotions and those feelings.
So the accountability for that, in my opinion, and it's a lot of weight, and I know it is, but it's a lot of that, in my opinion, lies with the mothers. the mothers have to sanction the father. When the mother says, all she got to do is say this one time, I'm going to talk to your daddy, I'm going to tell your daddy.
My mom used to use that all times. Silver bullet.
And that lets that child know that I have power.
Mm-hmm.
But if the mother says, forget that nigga, one time.
The kid can dismiss them all the time.
All the time. And no one is understanding that we are decimating crops and crops of young black people. Young people, period. Because we're not making them accountable for nothing that they do. They can dismiss us easily. So if they're doing that to their fathers, what you think they're gonna do to this person or that person? They don't care about other people's feelings. They care about how they feel. And if it does not fit their agenda, and I'm not saying all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying we are teaching some bad lessons, man.
Yeah.
We're teaching some bad lessons to these kids.
And a lot of them have to develop. A lot of these kids are developing a lot on their own anyway.
Yeah.
So the lessons that they're taking from their environment.
Yeah, kids are materialistic by nature.
Yeah,
and we're feeding it.
Yeah, they're figuring it out amongst themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not going back to elders or older people or uncles or aunties to figure this shit out.
No.
Or ask questions.
No, they don't give a damn.
They're going through whatever they're going through.
We know nothing.
Yep.
We
Their
know
parents
nothing.
Don't know shit. Yep, don't know shit. And kids go back to their friend and then they're hashing it out there and they're figuring out how they're going to deal with it on that level.
I don't know what your whole audience is comprised of, but I do know that much of the black people who in the city had some contact with project people or lived in the projects. It wasn't far from you. You know, you had if you lived in the suburbs, you had a cousin, most of your cousins in the neighborhood was in the projects or some kind of way. So we're not that far away from poverty. But our children believe that we owe them something. They feel like that we have to provide them everything that they see on TV, and that's amazing to me. But it's our fault because they didn't have to work. Like, my mother used to tell me all the time, I'd be like, "Ma, can I get allowance? I'm allowing you to stay here." You know what I'm saying? And we did chores around. I was like, if I brought home an A or a B, she like, you supposed to get an A or B and walk off.
Yeah.
We giving these kids money for A or B.
For nothing.
For nothing.
For fucking nothing. For nothing. And we're again, accountability.
Yeah.
So when you look around and you see the level of spoiledness, or you see the level of unaccountability in the children.
It's because we saying, not my son, not my daughter.
I mean, sometimes, and this is not
people are going to hate me.
And this is not to take a shot at single parents, but oftentimes single parents overcompensate.
Oh, no doubt.
And so, because they are often the only parent
Me
involved,
too.
They don't want to be, playing the bad guy ain't always the role.
Yeah.
So in order to avoid being the bad guy, they'll be the placater.
I did that with my son. I messed up. I was the bad guy with my son. So with my daughter, I was going to be different, but still wind up with the same result.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a weird thing, but as parents, we have to be accountable for the adults that we're creating in the world.
And that's what, man, people don't look at that part.
You know,
we're creating like that person. If you don't teach your child to say please and thank you, then
it starts there.
It really
starts there.
Then they're being rude to me in McDonald's.
It really starts there. It really starts there.
McDonald's, I don't know if you drive out of town, but if you drive out of town, stop at some fast food places along the way. If you go into one of those country towns, most of the time they'll have older people working behind the register. The standard and quality of McDonald's in Chicago is like night and day.
Completely different.
Oh man, and it's because they don't even feel like they have to put forth their best effort. Like we used to be, like I used to hear all the time, you gotta be twice as good to be able to do this, or you gotta be twice as good, smart to be able to do that. and we don't push them to do nothing. And so it's our fault. Now the question is, we're doing a lot of talking about blame, but what do we need to fix it. So the thing is that we need to figure out how to fix it, and if it's possible. Well, it really just starts by changing little things day by day. They're not gonna like it.
It's an individual. I think first of all, it has to be an individual decision.
Yeah.
How to fix this on a wider scale, to me, is just a matter of establishing standards. If we can establish standards again, then we can get to a place where we can say, okay, that's a bottle, that's a hat, okay?
Yeah.
This is not a hat, and this is not a bottle.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna be doing no mixing and matching and all this other shit that's gonna make you feel comfortable. This is a hat, this is a bottle. We all agree that this is a bottle, and this is a hat. That's the standard.
Yeah.
You know,
I
unfortunately, now we're at a place where can be a hat if it wants to be.
If it feels like
if you want it to be a hat, it can be a hat. If you don't want it to be a hat, then it don't have to be a hat. It can be a bird. Who gives a fuck? You know? So everything goes. There are no standards now.
Yeah.
So there are no standards of how to treat you. If I hand you something, you can easily just take it and walk the fuck off.
Right.
And not think twice about saying thank you. Because it's not a standard hasn't been set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Opening the doors for people, just simple shit. And this goes back to your point about being kind.
Yeah.
Just simple things that we can do to just motivate some of the accountability.
Yeah.
If you can be kind to me, I might be accountable to you.
Yeah. And
that may sound a little weird.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
But if I can feel vulnerable enough to apologize to you, and if that's a standard way of behaving and treating people, then it shouldn't be a problem with coming to somebody and saying, hey, I'm sorry.
And it shouldn't be this hard, because when it's all said and done, don't you want to be treated that way?
But you don't want to be, you have to make yourself vulnerable
to
be treated that way.
Yeah, because I don't care what nobody, they can I get it, unconditional love, all right, it probably exists, but I feel like that you still had to have something happen, whereas I know this person cares about me. You had to do something to get that respect from them. Sometimes it's given automatically, but most of the time it's a feeling from a person that you get. They've done something to make you, feel like they hold you in high regard.
They've shown accountability to you.
Yeah.
So it's okay for you to now love on them, or it's okay for you to now give to them, or it's okay for you to now sacrifice for them, because they've shown accountability for you.
And it's all just being kind to a person. You want to be treated this way. Why is it so hard for you to treat me the same way?
Because we're surrounded by mistreatment.
Yeah, that Simon age. When that show came on, everybody turned into assholes. What was the American Got Talent? Was that the
American Got Talent?
No, the one with Simon on it. That was
American Got Talent.
Oh no, it was another one before that. He was on American Idol.
Oh, American Idol.
Yeah, he was on American Idol.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened that was in the early 2000s.
Yep.
That's when it started being cool to be an asshole. And it really kind of snowballed, like everybody wanted an asshole. Then they started, like, gay guys got a lot of jobs during that time. The queer eye first, they was tearing people's outfits apart. And I'm sitting there like, God, dog, these guys are mean. And it happened a lot during that era.
This is also part of that reality TV.
And the reality TV, fighting about everything. Man, real talk, I went to college because I watched School Days, and I used to watch Different World.
Yeah, that would do it.
I wanted to be a really great father because I saw Bill Cosby and James Evans. We can talk this bull crap all you want, but TV images seep into you. Man, I used to watch Sesame Street, and I remember the song like it was yesterday. Girls were made with sugar and spice with everything nice. That's what little girls are made of. I believed it when I was a kid.
I did too.
I got beat up by a lot of girls.
Believing that bullshit.
Believing that bullshit, because I'm trying not to slap her. I'm getting my butt kicked. My mama had to threaten me to make me fight girls. But I believed it. So if they're seeing all that reality TV, everybody getting paid for diamonds, that's why everybody want to be on Instagram. Because Paris Hilton got paid and Kim Kardashian got paid for being naked, but they naked and rich.
Oh my God. So yeah.
We developed 2000s. We've developed strip culture, and it's been, whew.
Yeah, we're not accountable for what we've created as a society and the bullshit we feed into each other.
Yeah.
We create bullshit, complain about the bullshit, but then we feed back into the bullshit.
We're back into the bullshit.
You know what I'm saying?
It's an endless bullshit cycle.
Endless bullshit cycle. Happens in politics, happens in Hollywood, happens on local level.
But politics is by design, though.
All of it's by design.
Well, honestly, yeah.
design.
Because the more chaos, we know, that's a different topic, but gotta have chaos in order for thievery to exist. So
yeah, you gotta have a distraction.
Yeah. So right now the distraction is everybody's making videos on Instagram.
And again, this goes back to what I was saying before. You can hide in the public now. You can be unaccountable in the public eye.
Yeah.
So somebody who is successful, let's say on IG, doing a bunch of goofball shit, can be completely unaccountable for the goofball shit that they're doing because they have a following.
Meek Mills. Mm-hmm. Did you see the picture of his truck, of his tour bus?
I don't think so.
I like Meek Mills, but I was embarrassed by that. I did not like that he was riding around with this bus with naked women on the side of the damn bus.
Oh,
black
yeah,
women.
I did see that.
Naked black women.
I did see that.
I didn't like it, man. It bothered me. So, he was preaching when he was trying to get out of jail. He was preaching this positive message, but then he gets out and he does that, and little girls are gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? So there's don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her body, but I'm saying you ain't gotta have it on no truck.
The message that it sends.
It sends a terrible message.
The message that it sends just by putting it on a truck.
Yeah.
Just by putting it on a place that's publicly seen and publicly accessed.
And it was more about the way they were positioned. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's bottom line, man, when I saw dances on TV, I danced like I saw on TV. You know, so what are we gonna give them to dance to? Twerking. The world is twerking.
Which I don't have a problem with.
I don't have a problem with twerking. I'm just gonna say this. I have liked many of twerk videos. I feel ashamed about it. Accountability.
Yeah, see, accountability. Accountability.
I'm ashamed by it, and I am deleting friends as we speak. Not as we speak, but I'm deleting friends. But yeah, man, them twerk videos, man, they got me, and I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to get off.
We have to be accountable for that. Because if you look around and
we feeding the beast. We feeding the beast.
We creating the Frankenstein monster that we're complaining about. You know, we created Frankenstein, but then we want to take the torches to the castle and burn them down.
Yeah. Because when you see that little, it's dope when you at the barbecue and all these grown women twerking. But as soon as it's 14, 15, 13-year-old, 8-year-old start twerking.
Yep.
That's when it changed. You like, hey.
Yeah. But she's on the path.
So, so.
Yeah, dude, this accountability conversation, dude, is.
So I'm going to say this to the 20-year-olds. Brothers, fellas. I get it. It's a numbers game when you're in your early 20s. You trying to get as much as you can.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you're doing damage. Try to keep it to a minimum.
Don't sling so much.
Be mindful of how you treat them.
Yes.
If you're gonna be a slut, be a nice slut.
At least. Because, I mean, you just fucking up so many, like, women too. Because like you said, like we were talking before, young girls, I mean, I got my heart broke many times as a young kid. You know what I'm saying? But that's life.
Girls kill us We dog women out when we hit about 21, 20. No, I say 21, 22 is kind of our range. That's when your dick control and got all together, and you're Mac, and you can Mac, you can say what you want, and you cool with it.
Right.
But from before 21, no, before 22, man, women are killing us. I got my heart broke so many damn times. I was getting dumped every time I turned around. I'm like, ah, damn.
I mean, think about it. If you ain't into sports and your grades ain't on, and you ain't like
Some
top of the class,
6-foot dude gonna take your girl.
it's gonna be the women that are gonna build your confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you just ain't got grades out the ass and you're not a fucking super athlete, you know what I'm saying?
You break up every month.
Yeah.
Every month.
It's gonna be the women that are gonna give you the confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, that's their stomping ground, that's their testing ground. Man.
Yeah. So you know when you in your I apologize for my 20s. God. I apologize, man.
Accountability.
Accountability.
At least you've been accountable for it.
I did. And again, I've apologized where I could.
Yeah.
I've apologized where I could. But when you're young, you don't know that you don't. What women don't realize, and I'm gonna say this to you. We were kids too. When y'all broke up with us, I was 14, you broke up with me 14, then we got back together at 16, you broke up with me at 16, and then when you got with that grown nigga.
You testifying now. You testifying now.
We remember that. That drug dealer that you picked over us, we remember that. You dog men too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just women. It's funny if you ain't their boyfriend, they don't count that.
No.
That's crazy.
No, you just you a casualty.
You a casualty. You a casualty till I found my prince.
Yeah, you collateral.
That's what it was.
You just collateral. I didn't see you. I don't remember you.
Oh man, yeah, man. I got dogged out. So I know guys who are dogs now, and I know where it started.
Yeah.
I know where it started, and it's messed up. Because guys, we fell in love early. Like every guy, if you'd have caught us before 19, we'd have married you like a dumbass. Yeah. It's that window between 20 and 19, somewhere just before you turn 20, you get smart and say, hey, I can be free and still have sex. You don't do it then. Yeah, but when you 18, 19, that first shot, you want to marry her.
Yeah, I got married at 22.
Damn, nigga.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, I got married at 22, dude. I thought I was
that was the beginning of my super hoe phase. When I hit 22, I had my own crib. Me and my brother had a spot.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
See, and when I think about it, it's like, you know what? If I'm being accountable to myself, being married at 22 is probably the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing for me because ain't no telling what the hell.
You would have, you did some skeevy shit.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
You would did skeevy shit.
I guarantee it. But, I'm in a different place now. So I'll take it. Well, man, listen. That's the end of the show, man. Listen, I want to thank my guy E. Porter for coming through, brother. I appreciate you.
No problem,
Good looking out, man.
Do that again. I had my hat off.
I do it again. God, man, listen.
I forgot about the hat.
Well, we at the end of the show, man. Listen, I want to thank my guy E. Porter for dropping by, man.
No problem,
Good
man.
looking out, dude. Listen, you got any shouts out for the people?
Yeah, I'd like to say hello to my family and friends and all of my loved ones. And I'll be shooting again. I'll be shooting August. August 2022. Dadding and Sonning. Come check with me.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all know me, man. D.Smith. Be on the lookout for the next Taylor LaRue venture. Mackenzie McCoy is on the way, so y'all be on the lookout for that, man, all right? D. Smith, man, get this D. I appreciate y'all. Peace.